Live streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I will be your host this evening. And here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes. We talk about sport flying, competition flying. We talk about show and tells. Talk about what you've done in your shop lately, or what you've done at the flying field. Hopefully, you had some fun since last time we met. Now, to join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com. When you register, you must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. If you are inclined to not come in and just like to enjoy watching us on YouTube, please enter your questions and comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments part of the show. Now, if you find Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts enjoyable and informative, hopefully fun, you would consider subscribing. We'd also encourage you to like and share the videos. That helps to grow this YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube memberships start at $4.99 a month, which is only 17 cents a day, and your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar. Now, with your memberships on the Stunt Hangar video chat side, you will have special badges, and you will have access to unlimited replay of members-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer video where you can ask him questions about building and finishing and flying model airplanes. And you can also use the super chat, which is located on the bottom of the chat box, like a big $sign. And if you do that, that'll also help. And we welcome super chats of any denomination, whatever you feel comfortable donating, whatever value you see what we do. Greatly appreciated. I appreciate your past, your present, and future support. And please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, don't use words you wouldn't say around your children or grandchildren. Now, I'm turning to post the link at Stunt Hangar. Let me pull that up. I have two monitors. And let me see here. Okay. So I'm posting the link. Bam. All right. So hopefully I'll have some friends and some new guests. I really welcome new guests. It brings kind of lift to the program, and we can maybe stay on task and talk about model airplanes with new people. I'll do my best to keep us on track, and let's see who comes in today. By myself, I'm continuing to work on I mentioned last time that I have a plane called the Impact. I didn't build it. Another gentleman built it. But it's a pipe ship setup, and my build that I'm working on is called Precious Balsa, which is a modified Strega running on a K77 engine with a tune pipe. So I'm really excited about getting that tune pipe worked out, whatever the RPM I like, the prop, glow plugs, all the kind of things you need to figure out. Even the pipe length, how long it is from the glow plug to the first baffle. And so just to work all that out, I'm pretty excited. Now this Impact is kind of heavy, but so have most of my other planes I've flown. So this is really nothing new. But hopefully the Precious Balsa will be light. Anyways, let me bring up the chat box so I can see if anyone is in the chat. Let's see here. No one's in the chat. It looks like we have 10 viewers. Hey, thank you very much for tuning in. If you want, you can come on in. There's plenty of room. The couch is not crowded, so come on in. Hey, Gerald.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, how about that? My first person is from New Zealand. How about that?
I thought I'd use the opportunity to come in and say hello and give you season greetings. And well, I can, because I know my wife will be home early and I'll probably have to take off. But I've got the opportunity. I thought it'd be great to come in and see what's happening.
Oh,
So how are you keeping?
I'm doing well. That's awesome. I appreciate it. It's great to see you and have you come on in. It's great.
Yeah, it's that time of year. Everything's really busy, very hectic. But I've got most of my jobs out of the way for now. But we're just preparing or I'm trying to prepare for a contest on the weekend. Well, not really a contest, a vintage combat meeting. We'll pull out our vintage combat models and give them a bit of a fly and maybe have a barbecue for Christmas. So,
oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So what vintage combat planes are you going to take out?
I've got my Voodoo nearly ready, and I've got a Liquidator and a Spectra and some other vintage combat models there. Some are 35 powered, a couple are diesel, and generally anything that's older than about 1980 or so. Then it'll just be a general fun fly. I think with vintage combat meetings, a lot of people just want to fly the models without destroying them. So whether we tow streamers or not happen, but we'll just have a bit of a fun fly. And if people are really keen, then we'll start tying on the streamers.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Have you ever seen I have a vintage combat plane called the Matador.
Yeah.
And I also have, hey, Peter, welcome. And I also have a Voodoo as well. And I have a up-to-date F2D, is it? Or F2D combat plane. And yeah, combat has always been something I've kind of dallied in a little bit. I've never had anyone else in the circle with me. I've always just flown by myself. But yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Looks like Gerald Sinclair is coming in.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary. So I was just talking to Gerald, and he was talking about this weekend is a combat fly-in, and so he's dusting off some of his vintage combat planes. And I was asking what planes he's going to fly, and he mentioned the Voodoo, and I heard the Voodoo. There was something else he said about 3 other planes.
I'll grab some of the other ones. I might cause an avalanche, but I'll try and grab them.
Yeah, don't cause an avalanche.
That one's
we got 10 viewers out there. Hey, welcome, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share the videos, and don't forget our YouTube memberships, which start at $4.99 a month, only 17 cents a day. All right, let me make you big here, Gerald.
Yeah, that one's an old vintage model. It's an English model, that one with an OS20 on it.
Oh, very nice.
Required to have a muffler, so it's got a little stack muffler on it. So that one's an AUKUS. And then I'll grab some of the others. This one, I'm not quite sure the name. Alfredo mentioned the Wombat, an Australian design. That one's got an old Fox 36, one of the slow combat motors on with a peace pipe again, because we're required to have a muffler.
Pipe. Yeah, I only have one peace pipe left. I had 2 at one point. I don't know why I did the other. Maybe I sold it.
Yeah, they break if you whack them in hard. Those peace pipes, they're a bit delicate.
It is a peace pipe on eBay, Gerald. I don't know if you're interested in getting another one, but there's one on eBay.
Yeah, I've got a few more there, but this is a local design. Spectra was designed by Mike Walters, I think, back in the 70s. And that one's got a Fox 19 on it, and that one's got one of those Jubro stacks, so it's fairly flush, so I don't get wiped off too easily.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so that works well.
Nice.
And
what kind of prop is that?
Normally use nylon props with them. If I can find some fairly soft nylon propellers, we'll use them. And that's a Liquidator. That's another English design. That one's got an Australian diesel on it. Quite beat up old model, that one, but it was a lot of fun when I was young.
Yeah,
so that one's going back to
the cheek on the engine mount.
Yeah, the cheek definitely adds a lot of rigidity, which you want for a diesel motor. Yeah, the diesels vibrate a lot. And I'll grab my voodoo.
All right.
Oh, yeah. There's an avalanche. And everything's a bit messy in here because we had a stunt meeting just last weekend park, and that's
Oh,
my
very
voodoo.
cool. You even have the voodoo decal. That is very cool. I haven't seen a voodoo decal in some time.
Yeah, my little box.
Wow.
I'll put that will get the 36 bits on it. I probably won't run that prop. It's an old prop, but yeah, that's what I'll run on it.
Very, very nice.
I was going to spray it with a bit of clear and then bolt the motor on, and that one's ready to go as well.
Now, are you running all these at bladders, or are you going to have just pacifiers, or what?
Well, most of these will be hard tank, and because I run mufflers, I normally just run muffler pressure. And that normally, it's like, so you can see it's got the pressure tap on the piece pipe on that one. And that one's actually got one of these rear feed tanks, one of the locally made tanks. That's why when you look at it, the right at the back, because it's sitting up at the back, there's no internal in the tank. So just a little bit different, but they work well. They just look a bit funny. The tank's got the pickup feeds on the back. I think I've shown them before on Stunthangar.
Yeah, I remember you talking about them being made locally. I remember that.
Yeah, so I'll run there. Other times I'll just put a little tin tank in, like that's a common one I'll often use.
Okay.
But the other types of mufflers are quite good for the combat wings, ones like that, the little ketone mufflers, because they're very flush the way they mount up. So
yeah, I've seen those on eBay, and I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, they mount up nice and flush like that.
No kidding.
So they're not liable to get damaged. Yeah, there's another one. Where was my other one? Oh, this one here. Here's another good example. This isn't a vintage model, but you can see with the ketone muffler on that one, how it mounts up nice and flush.
That is very cool. You know, I always thought those were meant for like pit planes. You know, the aerobatic RC planes. Those kind of
they work. You use them in a cowl. That's one of the other reasons why they make them an in-cowl muffler. But some of them have got the outlet coming out the side. That one's got them come out directly underneath, so I'll probably have to cut them back so they're not vulnerable. Others have the outlet coming out like this one. Very convenient for a combat model. So I'll just try and get it invented and find whatever will work on a combat model. Have a look on eBay and see if I can find old mufflers.
You know,
they do run.
I never even considered those mufflers, but after seeing yours, that is very cool.
All right. That's what I've been busy with, trying to get those ready for Sunday. And then we were flying stunt on the weekend, and probably a good question I can probably pose some of the people here is my son was flying as ringmaster, and I'm just putting it back together. But they say the balance point should be on the lead outs. We were down quite a bit toward the front lead out. People generally should it be like often balanced them just at the rear of the trailing edge. But the people balance them further back, not sure. Because it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference when you strap a whole lot of weight on the tail of the ringmaster. They still fly like a ringmaster. But just trying to get my son's ringmaster turning a little bit tighter.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where they balance that. I have a couple of ringmasters, but it's not something I mean, I fly them for the Brotherhood of the Rings. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I normally do the same. We have a big flying in October and pull out our ringmasters, but he was flying it in aerobatics and it was turning really wide. So I was just going to give people a general idea on where the balance point should be, if we should be pushing it further back or balancing them where I normally balance them just after the leading edge. But yeah, that's my bit for today, I think. I've shown you all my tricks and what I've been up to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's very cool. I see Lynn snuck in and John Miller snuck in.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see you guys.
I've got my camera turned off so it doesn't glitch so much.
All right.
You're just ugly today. That's all.
That's right. I'm ugly every day.
At least you're consistent.
That's right. Hey, Gerald, if you want, I'll go measure the distance back from the leading edge on my ringmasters. They both fly pretty good. And I'll tell you what the balance point is.
Well, that would be great. Even if you just
Okay.
do it through the messenger, no great rush.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah. I'll just give you I'll just go downstairs and get a measurement. Hang on a minute.
That'd be great. Thanks, Lynn.
Mathematically, Gerald, they should be between 12 and 18% at the mean aerodynamic chord, which is about halfway down the wing. So if you measure that distance halfway down the wing, figure out what, say, 18% of it is, that's a good starting point.
It would be about 30% of the whole chord, or 33% of the whole chord, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know people say the ringmaster likes to have a forward CG, so I thought maybe it is a different percentage for a ringmaster because they're a bit peculiar with their big tail. They tend to stall out a lot of their. I know there seems to be a lot of opinion on them. Most of the opinion being that ringmasters fly terrible, but.
I used to think they flew pretty good when I was a kid. You know, what the heck?
Yeah. No, he dinged his model on the weekend when we were flying, and if he had just had a little bit more tuning power there, I'm sure he might have got through the maneuver he was doing as consecutive loops. And then he had to fly an old diesel model I had there as a backup, which he struggled with because it was a small model and it was really windy when we were flying. But he tried and put in a good effort.
Well, typically the rule of thumb is, Gerald, is that on a non-flapped ship, you know, you use for aerobatics, between 18 and 12%, or 18 and 9% on some of them, between 18 and 12% of the mean aerodynamic chord is about the best place to start from, you know. And then, you know, if you got a bigger tail, that means you might be able to move it back a little bit further. But that's a good starting point. And take out a couple of flights and keep moving it back and see where you're, you know, if you get to where it starts to get uncontrollable, you went too far.
Yeah, I'll take a hold of weights and we'll go from there.
There you go.
Hey, Gerald, I seen a picture about Christmas in New Zealand. Is it true you stick your Christmas tree on the ceiling and it hangs down?
Just a bit. I think the trees might lose their leaves in the heat here. That's all.
No, it was so funny because I was on there looking and then somebody had that as a comic. Christmas in New Zealand, and the presents and the tree were stuck on the ceiling.
Interesting enough, speaking of New Zealand, Gerald, I'm a ham radio operator as well, and I've been listening to New Zealand and Australia quite a bit on some of the ham bands. So just thought you'd like to know.
Oh, that's neat. Anyway, we're not that cut off from the rest of the world when we've got internet and ham radio and forums like this. That you feel like you're not completely hidden away.
No.
Now, is this the time of year that it's drying out and you guys can get some flying in?
Yeah, it is indeed, but it's also the time of year when it tends to get windy. But I suppose it normally comes with summer and spring. You always seem to get the wind. You get the beautiful, calm days over winter, and it's too cold, and then you get those beautiful sunny days where it's blowing like crazy. And that's what we had at our contest. It was blowing. I don't know how many knots, but it was really blowing, and I didn't want to take it along anything too flash and fancy, and the worry that it would get dinged. But you've really got to get used to flying in the wind if you want to compete.
Yeah. So
hey guys, I have a guest here I want to bring in. We have Montana Farmer on the chat, and he says, "Hey guys, and hope you all are doing well during the holidays." And I asked him, "Do you fly control line?" And he said, "I fly RC, but after watching what you guys do, it piqued my interest." And I said, "Oh, great! Welcome, Montana Farmer."
whereabouts in Montana?
Let's see what he says. I don't know. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Hey, Ed, you're in here twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Computer's messing up.
Yeah, one he's not moving anymore though.
Yeah, that's probably one on the computer. It was messing up. So I went on the phone.
Oh, okay.
So just ignore the other guy.
Okay.
There you go.
He's just a
Oh, he's
placeholder.
back. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. I said I was going to do that this week, so
I think.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah, well, hey, at least I hear you can go to the UK because they said that all the COVID laws in the United Kingdom doesn't count for Santa. He's exempt from all of them.
Santa's a tough old bird.
Yeah, that's what he said. Santa can't get it, so
That's
he's
what
exempt.
Fauci said. Fauci said that Santa was immune to the COVID. So
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
It's all that working out, carrying all that stuff around all day long.
Let me respond to a Montana farmer. He asked, "Do you guys have a club put together?"
Yeah, I guess you know we got
Kind of, yeah.
like 3 guys that fly.
Yeah.
It's down to 3.
I think he meant us. I think he meant the us here. Montana farmer. No, we're all over the United States. I'm from Escondido, California, and then John is from Utah, right? And Steve Hines is from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Gerald is from New Zealand. And Eddie, where are you from, Eddie?
I'm from Greenbrier, Tennessee.
And then Gary Sinclair, where are you from?
Ohio.
And then Peter, you're in Florida, right?
He's a New Jersey guy, though, I think, isn't he? Oh, New Yorker?
New York, yeah.
Oh, a New Yorker.
So Steve, Montana farmer said he's from Northeast Montana.
Oh, okay.
What I didn't know they had any towns in Northeast. I thought that was all considered Canada.
Yeah, but who knew? I mean, it took this for me to find out that Santa Claus is from Utah and not from the North Pole.
Well, I'm not here on vacation, you know. I'm still.
Oh, you can't be on vacation. You got a big day coming up.
I know, that's why I'm getting all this.
You get vacation afterwards.
I got all them elves working up there. Santa's a pretty rough taskmaster.
He moved south for the winter.
Well, I went down south. I got to get warmed up before I go out on that ride.
Hey, we forgot about Len. You can't hear him or see him, but he's from Canada.
He's a Canuckian.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Tryon.
Gentlemen.
Hey, Tryon.
And Tryon, you're from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yes, a Montana farmer. We're not a club, but if you subscribe to Stunt Hangar using your first and last real name with a space between it and a valid email address, Kelsey will most likely approve you, and then you can come on in here as well. So consider joining us. That'd be great to have new blood come on in here.
We have a club. We just don't fly together.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of lonely old guys who have nothing better to do on Mondays and Fridays.
Well, I'm not lonely, by the way. And I don't think Gerald. And neither is Gerald, right?
Gerald, the measurement is from the Gerald.
Sorry? Yep.
The measurement is 1.25 inches back from the front of the leading edge.
1.25 inches. Oh, thanks, Glenn. Thanks for that. 1.25 inches.
Yeah.
Well,
The two guys who
Quarter
got
from
from
the
countries
front of
that
the
use the
leading
metric system is telling them 1.25 inches.
Yeah. You don't know what 1.25 inches is.
No, you can go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll see.
Unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
tempting.
From one metric
Steve
country,
knows,
I love
Steve
that.
knows
Though.
what
From
an
one
inch.
metric country to another, 1.25 inches.
I normally use a
Well, they used to.
Steve,
We got their numbering system from them. You know, Great Britain. What the heck?
Yeah, then they changed it.
Yeah, they went. They didn't want us to know what they're doing.
I have to say, I still use inches all the time because all the bulkwood sizes came in inches.
Steve knows what an
What's that?
What were you saying, Gerald?
I was just going to say I normally use inches anyway because all the bulkwood sizes came in inches, all the props were in inches, all the wheels were in inches, everything that we made our models with was largely in inches because most of the gear came from the United States, so it was in inches. So you get used to using those measurements. And you buy some Gruppner wheels from Germany and they're 53 millimeter, and you're thinking, what are those? What are those? And it says 205 centimeters, and you're saying, what's that? You know, millimeters. So we got used to using inches just as aeromodeling terms. 16
Yeah,
also 50 millimeters.
this has got metric on one side and inches on the other. That's how I do it.
Very good.
That's a Canadian ruler, that one. That's a Canadian ruler.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that, John?
Hey,
Well,
on
I
the
used to
side
live in Alaska.
On the side that is in inches, it's in English,
There
and
you go.
on the side that's metric, it's in French.
Canadian. There's another one that's Canadian and in inches.
Let me catch up on the chat box. Philip Bailey, what are you doing out there,
There you
Philip?
go.
Why aren't you inside here? Anyways, Philip Bailey is saying that he's from North Carolina, so he's representing North Carolina.
What's he doing out there? He didn't want to join us?
I don't know, but
Tell him to comb his
Montana,
damn hair and get on.
Montana Farmer says that the towns are pretty spread out, but lots of fresh air. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I live on the edge of the desert. I get lots of fresh air here too. But it's not as cold as Montana, believe me.
So, Tran, you got the thing unwrapped, huh? Are you unwrapping it now?
Yes, I am.
What is that stuff you got? Some kind of sticky
It's Ace Band-Aids.
that sticks to itself?
Yes.
Oh, because none of my ace bandages stick to themselves.
I mean, I just got this from CVS.
Yeah,
Oh, self-grip.
Corbon or
Very cool.
Corbon, they call it.
You don't have to have the clips for that.
Yeah, I mean, just like this cord is good, and I just unroll it and I am reusing it next time on something else, whatever it is
Yeah.
gonna be. So
I have another comment, you guys. We got Top Brent out there.
Hey, Brent, how you doing?
He says, yo, from Ogden, Utah.
Colder up in Ogden than it is here, I think.
all right, so here it is. It's done. Now I have to cut it. So
Show me those fingers on the front that you had slid up.
Well, it looks good.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you take the sanding paper and then just sand it off a little bit,
Wow. Yeah, it looks good.
that's it.
So
So
two locations of 1/16.
Yeah. Is it 1/16, Tran?
Yeah, two pieces of 1/16.
Yeah,
and then he glued them together.
with white glue. And where he's got the compound curve at the front, he slid it up at about 1/2-inch strips so that it could all compress and do that compound curve. Worked out good.
Hey, Tryon.
Yeah.
Philip Bailey, he wants to not miss out on that. You wanna hang on for a little bit? Let Phil get home.
Okay.
All right.
Tell Phil it's going to cost him.
Phil, you heard him, Phil. It's gonna
We've
cost
been
you.
waiting for this all night, Phil, and now you're making us wait longer. You think this is Christmas or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Close to, anyways.
Something like
Santa
that.
Claus showed up and everybody's waiting now.
How's the kids doing, Jerry? Gerald, are they getting after the competition hot and heavy? Or?
Oh, my oldest son, Otto, is the one that flew stunt. Max enjoys flying, but he actually wants to go flying team race. He wants to give that a go. So maybe this nationals coming up in January, I'll have both of the boys flying. They both want to fly scale. One wants to do stunt, and the other wants to do team race. So they're quite keen. But
Cool.
we've got the school holidays starting tomorrow, basically. They've got half a day, and then they can do some building and get ready for our nationals. So, they enjoy it.
So what is what scale ship do they have?
Well, my older son's he's got an existing model that he flew last year that'll be his backup. He's got a Douglas Sky Shark profile model, and
really?
he wants to work on a P-47. He's keen to build another model. If he's got enough time over the holidays, he might throw together a quick profile model. And my other son has got an SE-5 biplane that he flew last year. If he doesn't fly that, he might get another model finished. It just depends if they've got to default back to their old models or if they get anything new built, just depending on how quickly they build.
Do they go to school there year round?
Yes, basically they have a summer break that runs from mid-December through to early February, but it was like a harvest holiday traditionally. I suppose similar to what you have in America, where the kids have time off that would have traditionally been used to bring in the harvest. They get that long summer break, and they get their summer break as well.
You know, Gerald, the mentioning profile scale. Years ago, John Brodak had me design up a profile scale plane for him, and it was the La-5, the Russian fighter, and he's kitted it. There's a neat little story about that. I told him to build two of them. I said, build one and finish it up, for the scale competition, and build another one and don't worry about it, finishing it that well, because that's when you're going to go out and practice with, because you got to do your various things and all that. And it turned out that his brother, I think his brother's name was Joe, his brother and he were flying combat with streamers with him. And his brother Joe crashed the practice one. So, but he went on, took his finished one and won first place in profile scale at the Nats here.
Wow,
that's brilliant! Yeah, it's excellent. It's quite a large model, isn't it? The LA.
Well, it's about 50 some odd inches. I don't remember exactly what, but I know it's over 50. And let's let. I don't think we're going to let you talk, Charles.
I'm trying to talk to the guys out there, so maybe won't let me talk. I'm going to talk to them. Montana Farmer, he asked a question. He says, not to interrupt, but we're interrupting, right? Anyway, anybody use the 6 poly fiber covering on RC? They have the light polyester fabric. I have a 1/4 scale tub to recover and want your guys' feedback.
Where's the guy from Canada that's into the full scale?
Was it what is
It's like
Coverite? Is he talking about Sid Coverite?
No,
Oh, it's STITS. Stits?
It's like it's like our polyspan in a way.
Well, all I can say, if it's like polyspan, then you'd want to take 6 sticks it and go around the outside of the wing, and then put it over it, and then iron it on and stretch out all of the the big wrinkles. Pull it over the wingtips and everything, and then with a heat gun or whatever, take out the rest of the wrinkles.
I think he's talking about a full-scale airplane, Steve.
Oh, he had the quarter scale.
Quarter scale RC airplane.
Quarter scale Cub.
But that's the way that I would do it, is use the 6 sticks it, iron it down around the edges, pull everything out, and then once that's down, then dope it. I guess if he's going to do silk and dope, or, it's kind of like silk and dope.
And if it is like the Coverite, it said coverall.
Right. I remember
coverall. You do it the same way. You can use the sticks it.
Yeah.
And that's the quickest way to get it done, and get it done pretty somewhat tight, so you don't stretch it nearly as bad. Put so much stress on the framework.
Yeah, it works. It works great that way. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Rodeck do a heat shrink covering as well, and it's one that you dope down and shrink with your iron, and it's just a white fabric, and it's very much like the one they use on full-size aircraft for Theonite or something. I think it's called Randolph.
Seconite?
Yeah, that's it. And that comes in different weights, and I think the Rodeck product in the coverall are similar to the same weight they use on microlights. The heavier weight material is much more like a heavy nylon, or the medium weight. And that's basically, I actually got some from a and very much stuff from Rodeck. The Rodeck material is just a little bit thinner maybe, but that's the stuff they use for microlights. And the Rodeck stuff came in like 5 yards and very easy to use. I'm pretty sure as a polyester fabric, it's heat shrinkable and very similar to footage.
Yeah, you need to try that with 6 sticks it. It's so much easier than doing it with dope. I've done them both ways. And if you just go around the outside edges with 6 sticks it, then you can iron that right into place. Stick it around the edges, pull all the wrinkles out, tighten up super nice, and then dope it on. It works great.
Another way is to use a contact adhesive. The contact adhesive is even quicker than using a dope. And I've used a solar filler product, an English product that was called Box Lock, and you use that stick down coverings as well. But it was a water based. Is the big product water based, or is it a solvent based?
It's solvent. The 6 sticks it is. I think it's just a really super thick dope, and you paint it on, and then it'll iron right into place, because it says right on there that the dope will dissolve right into the 6 sticks it.
Yeah, I think again it's similar to a Randolph product they make for sticking down the fabric. I can't remember the name of it, but it sounds like that. It's got a similar name. They use like a thick dope that they use for sticking down the fabric as well. There's so many different products out there that they use for full-size aviation, and often we can borrow their ideas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you guys. Montana Farmer says, "Awesome, thanks, guys."
You're welcome.
Hope we were a help. Bill hasn't showed up yet. How far away was he from home?
He said he was in Charlotte. I don't know what is it, 20 miles or so? Did he say he lives from Charlotte?
I think so. Yeah. Of course, if he's got his hot rod, it won't take him that long to get there. I think he's an old hot rodder.
Oh, we got to have him tell the story about the car he sold that went into some museum.
Yeah.
I forget. It was a Charger or a Challenger or something that was super rare.
Doesn't that Peter have a? Didn't Peter sell a car too?
I don't know if Peter did or not.
I think Peter's got a sound now. Nope.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
On my Tudor 2, if you can see it or not,
Yeah, I see
I
it.
got a hickey right here on the leading edge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So my plan was to take the covering off, go in and try to push it out. Well, lo and behold, it's got a damn shear web in there.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what you can do with that.
what I was going to do was take it and cut that shear web out, wet it, push it out, kind of get it out where I can manage it a little bit, and then just put me a piece of shear webbing back in there.
That's perfectly acceptable.
You know, the other way to do it is how I've done it, is take off the plastic and get you like a 1/4 by 1/4 piece of balsa, glue it onto that piece that's broken, and use that to pull it like you're pulling a dent on a car. And a lot of times it'll pop right back into shape. You glue it in and then just cut off that piece of balsa and sand it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to reach in there and push it out, and I thought, well, crap, they got that shear web all the way across there. And
If that doesn't work, turn on some flamenco music and dance on it.
there you go. Because I didn't want to just slab a bunch of putty in there, and I thought that's just going to put a lot of weight on it.
Good call.
Is that the pressure between the ribs?
It's exactly between the ribs.
I would just cut a like a 1/2 by 1/2 inch piece of wood that fits in between there and sand it to shape.
What
just,
if what?
Cut it out and then just fill it with a block and then sand it to shape.
Hey, wait a second. I have a simple idea. Okay, all you care about is pushing the stuff in there, and if you don't want to cut the shear web, just drill a small hole in it. It's not going to hurt it structurally, and put the stick through the hole and push on the other side. Done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Like I say, it's not a show plane. I'm not worried about it. I just want to get that fixed up so it's
a small hole through the shear web is not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Hell, a big hole in that shear web wouldn't hurt that much.
Well, I've already got some of it cut away, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue. But it's got where they put so much darn CA in there, and my knife don't want to cut it, so I'm having to work at it. But I think I'm just gonna use my multi-tool and just plunge through it, the part that's hard.
Oh, okay.
And then just, like I say, just leave a lip around that inside where the shear web is. That way I can push a piece up in there and have a backing to it where I can just push it in there. I'm assuming it's maybe 1/8 inch. I don't know. But I'll find out when I get the piece out.
Yeah, but like you said, drill a hole in there and stick a piece of music wire in and just push it out.
No, I'd use a wooden dowel.
Or a small wooden dowel. It doesn't matter, but and then you don't even got to worry about covering the hole.
Right.
Just don't. I mean, the center between the two ribs is where it'll flex the most. Just go off center and drill a hole there and push it out, and don't worry about it anymore. You'll still have all the strength in the center.
Yeah. That'll work.
Hey guys, am I crazy or am I crazy? You know, I'm building this crawler as a test bed, and after I finish the fuselage, I put a light coat on it, and I see all the blemishes and stuff like that. And now I'm going like, I don't like it. I'm torn between finishing the damn thing and getting the stuff done and making it pretty right now. I must be insane.
Yeah. What you need to do is have your wife come out and move it around a little bit, knock some big dents in it, so it doesn't matter anymore, Tryon.
You building that for your
Once
kids?
you get one big dent in it, it's like, oh, who gives a shit, you know? That or just take a stick and whack a dent in it and then say, there. Now I don't care about it no more.
You building that for your kid to fly in competition?
Kind of all around. For me to fly a profile in competition, for him to train, test bed. It's
Realistically, with a profile, you're going to be lucky to get about 15 points maximum. I've seen profiles get more, but they were unbelievable. And then everybody griped about a profile getting 20 points,
I know that.
Yeah.
It's not like I care for the points, as much as it's just me, I like nice stuff, right?
That's why I hate finishing.
We all like nice.
I hate to finish because I start to finish and it's like, well, there's a mistake and and then I got to fix
exactly.
I got to fix this and I got to fix that. And by the time I get done fixing it, painting it, then something else happens. The damn tape rips up a little bit of color and it's like, well, shit. Then I'm trying to fix that. And it's like I said, once
it's a vicious circle.
Gets in it, some kind of hanger rash, then you're like, hell with it. Then you can just fly it and have fun.
Yeah.
So I have some of that green putty and stuff like that. I think I'm going to just putty the whole thing, sand it off nice and flat, put a coat of paint on it, and call it it. That's
what does it weigh now?
I have no clue. What, the fuselage?
Well, no, you don't have it built. Okay. What is the fuselage weigh?
I'm just here. I'm gonna cover the wing. The wing is gonna be covered in with monocoat. So in the stab as well, and the tail, the vertical fin, everything else is gonna be covered in monocoat. Just the fuselage is gonna be done like this. It's pretty light right now. I mean, I don't feel like much weight to it. It's fine.
Why don't you just cover the fuselage in monocoat?
I thought painting might be easier because monocoat, getting around these corners in here with monocoat and over there, just too much crap to worry about. So it's probably just easier to paint it.
Painting is easier on a fuselage.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that can do a good job of monocoating the whole thing. I can do a fair job, but typically most of mine wind up with monocoat or some kind of a coat on the wings and on the flying surfaces and on the fuselage. The paint holds up better over the long run.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. It's going to be an electric plane anyway. So
I was going to say, you don't have to, if you paint it, you guaranteed it won't get oil soaked from the electrons.
Right.
Yes, for sure, electrons are not going to oil soak it.
It might swell up though.
Is there an easy trick to do that? To do the potty, or just use it as is, or dilute it with something, make it thinner?
What's that?
The potty.
I hate putty because it always dries and sands harder than the damn balsa wood.
But I have a coat of white paint on top of it, so I could just sand it until I see the paint.
Okay, yeah. If it's hard, then I just put it on, spread it out with a razor blade, and do it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sometimes you need a couple coats of the putty, but if you do it out thin, you save a lot in the sanding. You just got to wait, in between them. But usually that putty dries real quick.
That's why I'm trying to use that.
What's up, Carl?
I have a comment from Montana Farmer. He says, from what I've experienced, nitro fuel is hard on monocoat after a while. but it works.
Yeah, it is.
It
will
is.
get under the seams and break it loose.
That's why you always keep all your seams going to the back.
We were just fun and try on because it's an electric airplane. So I was saying, you know, it won't soak electrons. But
Now, that's not a proven fact, Steve. You know, we don't know yet. You know, I'm going to fact check you on that.
So, you guys, we have 4 likes and 14 viewers.
only 4 likes.
I know. So,
Come on, you other guys. You know they're all for me. So you guys got to start getting going here.
Tell Phil he better hit that like button.
yeah, please. Now we lost. Now we're down to 13 viewers.
I was afraid you'd say 4 likes and 13 dislikes.
And Jeff Riley's checking in. Jeff Riley says, "Hello, Stunt Hangar." Hello,
Hey,
Jeff.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, you mind hitting that like button so we can get up to 5? Oh, we're at
We
5.
need more likes.
We're up to 6.
Hey, Jeff, you better hurry up and get in here. Gary's still awake. You can talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody out there, if you can hit the like button, I sure would appreciate it, and share the videos, and consider joining our YouTube channel membership at $4.99 a month.
Yeah, Gary hasn't even nodded once tonight that I seen. He must have got a nap in before tonight.
You be nice to Jerry.
Gary,
It's getting close to calendar time again, you know.
I know it.
You'll have no airplanes.
Nice.
Gary likes it when I pick on him.
Yeah.
I mean, before, we'll be hearing about how great Ohio State is and all this kind of shit, and I got to put up with it. So,
Y'all talking about nodding off Friday night. I got in and I sat down and I fell asleep at 7 o'clock and woke up Saturday at 8.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Wow.
13 yeah.
That's the big time.
So that was
you can only put it off so long, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
it finally catches up with you.
Yep. Yeah.
So you guys let me know when you want me to restart the molded block and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we
will.
Bailey,
I don't think
Bailey to come in.
Go ahead and wrap it back up so he can watch you unwrap it.
I think that yeah, put all that stuff back on there.
So I did do some flying over the weekend. Yesterday was such a beautiful day outside here. I mean, Steve, I know you like it. Eat your heart out, buddy. But 66 degrees outside, sunny, light breeze, freaking stunt heaven.
Nice.
And I just I think I burned some of the best patterns I ever did.
You get any
I
film
also
of it?
came up with a cool idea. And actually, I'm copying someone else's idea, and this is what I'm gonna do next time. To kind of what I'm trying to do is just put in my brain. That's where the 45 is. So I should be able to fly the plane over there at 45, stop it over there, and just keep flying at 45 exactly, precisely. So I've seen somebody doing this number with a piece of paper over the lines, and you do it like this. So you have a 45-degree reference. Right. So you put it over your lines, and when this is horizontal, you're flying at 45, right?
Oh, okay, I follow you now.
So
yeah,
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put some flights and put my plane exactly over there and kind of get a gauge to exactly where it is.
Right.
So after that, I know exactly, okay, my 45 is over there, so I'm put the circle right in there. And when I fly, just boom, just fly it on a circle. Just put it right there, boom, forward. Should work fine. Yeah. And this new the new stuff I'm doing with visualizing the maneuver and putting the plane on a maneuver like a locomotive mechanic is looking at the train tracks, not looking at locomotive. Like when you drive your car, you're looking at where you want to go. You're not looking at the car because you know where the car is at, right?
Right.
And as I was flying yesterday, I was doing that. Man, I was nailing some squares over there that were just so nice and clean. I mean, you just that brutal corner and then stop, boom, and clean, just perfectly clean, just tracking after that. I was just like, I'm flying it, and I go like, whoo.
Broke your arm, pat yourself on the back.
Right? And you just know it, right? So yeah, man, it's. I think I'm gonna rename my plane the Mockingbird. And I'm thinking the Mockingbird is because the plane is just mocking me every time I fly it. I finish flying it and then I'm looking at the plane and he's like looking back at me. Oh, is that what you got?
I can do it better
Is that
than
what you got there? Can't you do any better? You know,
Oh, yeah.
It was like I didn't even break a sweat yet. It's like, come on, start flying me.
I understand that, Tryon.
It's telling you
I got a comment
can do
from
it better
Phil.
than you can, right?
So Tryon, Phil says that he's watching and he won't be driving for a while. So I guess you can go ahead and go anytime you want. He's watching us. And then Jeff Riley.
It doesn't take much time to make this presentation, no?
And then Jeff Riley had a couple comments. Let me get to Jeff Riley. He said he was going to tell Montana that in my experience, the asphalt is hard on Monocoat too. And then Montana Farmer says the trees are too, and he's laughing. And then Jeff Riley responded, lucky with Control Line, I don't worry too much about the trees unless, of course, someone brings too much beer. And then Montana Farmer says, yeah, for sure, beer and trees don't mix. LOL. All right, it's all yours, Tryon.
All right, so here we go. When I build the molds, do you see the difference over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the balsa block from the kit, and I didn't want to use more balsa because it's expensive. You can't find it, and I don't have it in addition to that. So when I went to Home Depot, I bought some of this wood, right?
Right.
It's just 3/4 inch thick. It's a 1x3, I think it was. And obviously, I use it as a base for making the mold itself, right?
Right.
So the whole mold is built on top of it, if you can see that, right? Okay, so the distance, so basically this is the base and that's the mold. Actually, the parting line of the mold starts over there where the base ends. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
So this is the key idea over here, right? And I use the same piece of wood to put a laser blade on top of it. I just glued it on. That's all there's to it. It's nothing, no science. So now if I'm using this block with the wood level on the top of the table.
Right. I follow you.
Okay, I'm cutting perfectly on the parting line. Now there's some things, you know. Some planes have the front is wider and the back is smaller, right? So you might want to lift it up like this. So now you're gonna cut more from the back than from the front, and you have to tweak it a little bit, right? Dance with it, whatever. Or maybe you made it to the perfect size. But as you can see this, if you make a mold off of this, you can use this section, or you can use this section, or you can use this section, depending on how the plane is tapering out and what's the best for you to use. So it's always best to make it a little bit longer than you need.
Tran, can you adjust your light? It's really bright on that. We can't see whoops, that's a little better. It's still glaring.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good. Oops, it was good to you.
It was good, but it went back. That light went down just a little bit. You got to raise the light up just a little bit more again. It fell back down.
Well, I think he had his hand in a way and it shadowed it.
Yeah. Put some sunglasses on it.
It's just so bright.
Yeah, it looks like the piece is part of the table, actually. You can't make out where the table starts and ends in the piece.
Let's try a different lighting from here.
A little better.
A little better. Let me know when it's better. I'm going to just keep moving it here. How about this?
No. No. Big glare.
That's worse.
That's
There.
better, yeah, right there.
There, that's,
Right there.
that's much better. That's
Yeah.
I turn it off completely. Those are my
there you
real.
go.
I have a good light over here.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so okay, so you can use whatever section you want to use out of it. So you make a big mold. Actually, I could probably use this for a half A plane. All I have to use just use this section over here. If I made a half A plane, it's kind of narrower. So it just that's all I need to use. If it's a bigger plane, you can use this section. So you got the idea, right? So
Right.
that's that. So another thing is like maybe you want to have the mold that goes like this, and you want to have some flat surfaces that go straight down. So because of the mold was made like that, where these are vertical, the
Right.
base is vertical. So I can continue with the mold below the base, and I can cut here somewhere. So what I would do for that is just elevate this. So I'm going to give you an example here. This is a flaps here, looks like 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to get about the 1/2 of an inch worth of a flat, because I'm going to sit it like this, and it's elevated 1/4 of an inch. So all you have to do is just, let me do it on this other side so you guys can see it. So you just walk this around like this. And just take your time. There you go.
By the way, Jeff had me cracking up when we was talking about the lighting. Going, is that better? Jeff Riley goes, this kind of reminds me of an eye exam. Better number one, better number two.
So all I'm doing, I'm just holding this block against the flat table.
Right, I see that.
Just walk it over, and then guess what? You don't even need to sand this thing, because this is it's nice and flat right now. Did I cut it through? Yep. So here you go.
Very
I
good.
can basically demold this. And look, I'm gonna set it down on table. It's perfectly flat. I'm not pushing anything on it.
Nice.
It's
Very
just
good.
that.
So how do you make your mold 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around?
Just look at the plans that you have, and then measure the basically your largest formers, right? Because on top of the formers you have the balsa, the 1/8 inch size, right? So it's just a little math, It depends on the plans, whatever you're building. Honestly, I don't think the fuselage width matters a whole lot, So yeah, it's just. I don't think it matters a whole lot. So now, because that's not what I wanted to cut, I'm just going to go back to the dimension that I was shooting for, which is right here. Cut it at the parting line. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And actually, I had a little bugger over there, and it turned out that I'm not even touching it. So here you go. So you can see how it cuts. Can you see this?
Right.
Because it goes on an angle over there, so you cannot cut it straight, and you always give yourself plenty of overhang. Right. I mean, don't even worry about going to the parting line. I mean, it's perfection or something like that. And so here we go. I'm just gonna cut this other side. And you can do a whole fuselage side like this. I mean, you don't have to do just the top block or bottom block. You can do the whole shells from parting line to parting line, nose to tail in one shot. And that fuselage is going to be nice and light. And this is your, I cut this out, and here's my shell right now.
Very good. Very nice.
I mean, I have some little bugs in here, but it really
Right.
doesn't matter. I mean, you can sand them off. And if you
Right.
cannot sand it off, you can always put a little patch of, balsa wood and fill it in and just sand it back down. But that
Sure.
was my mistake. I think I cut it. I didn't cut them. I cut them every half an inch. I think if you go quarter of an inch is much better.
Okay.
It is going to behave much better. So, but the principle is the same. And by the way, the bottom looks great.
Yeah, it does look good.
And the front is going to be cut out as well. I mean, because it's actually to about here.
Oh, great.
So that's going to be gone. And this is how it looks. Look.
Yeah.
That looks good, Tryon.
It doesn't want to work its way back up, as a shape. This is going to hold the shape. And I
Yeah.
didn't add much weight. So actually, you can even do a quick and dirty comparison. I can put this shell on the scale and these two pieces, right, that I cut out of it, and compare this to a sheet of balsa that I started with.
Right.
And that tells you how much weight you actually add by using this Elmer wood glue.
Yeah, which should be very nominal. I have a comment from Philip Bailey. He says, trace the inside of the fuse on the wood.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, you can do it many ways. It really doesn't matter how you do it. Basically, you have the fuselage has the 1/8 inch sides that go front to back, right? So whatever is measured underneath it, like for example, the formers, the 2-3 formers that go behind the towards the trailing edge, and you have the formers in the nose, maybe compensate for the doublers or something like that. But really, something like this, you can make for electric. You can just, since a lot of things change to electric, except for the backside, on the nose, you can just start with the shells first, measure this, subtract a 1/4 inch from it, and then you build your formers and stuff like that, and put your fuselage sides. When you put this on top of it, it's going to fit perfectly.
Right.
So that's what I would do. Let me do that experiment right now.
While he's doing that, Charles, how'd yours turn out?
Oh, it turned out really nice. They're down in the garage.
Damn, he's done gone old school.
Yeah. Well, I have one of those scales too. I use it when I mix epoxy sometimes.
Oh, geez. I had one of those. I had one of those scales when I was like a major drug dealer.
All right, here you go. This is the shell. These are the two pieces. It's okay.
Hey, I think Sparky's out there. I think.
All right.
Sparky's commented balsa molding videos on Stunt Hangar videos. https://www.youtube.com/watch why. It's there in the chat if you want to click on it. But I remember Sparky watching your video, Sparky. It was really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my shell. It weighs 10 grams, 10.4 grams. This is the shell with these pieces, right? And this is where it started. Oh my God. I guess I cut some off of it.
Damn,
because this one weighs 19 grams.
I was going to say,
impossible, right?
That must be that that glue has helium in it. It made it lighter.
Yeah, no, I'm even looking at it right now. So this is about here. I know I cut one of these guys in half. All right, let's say I have this much extra here, the little piece. So steel is pretty light. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I had a lighter piece of wood, but long story short, it just shows that I didn't add a whole lot of weight to it by laminating it and using the
Yeah.
the Elmer's wood glue.
Oh
It's
yeah,
don't add any weight to it.
that's light glue.
Yeah, it evaporates, so it's very little left behind. And because you have water on this side, you have water on this other side, and the glue in between. The glue is just going to wick and it's going to penetrate through these fibers. It's going to penetrate through the other fibers, and it's a very, very good bond over there.
Yeah.
And then when you have grain that isn't all hooked together, it makes it so much stronger on top of that.
Well, it's like
Exactly.
plywood.
Yeah. So I think this method here is very, very valid for a super light fuselage. I mean, imagine if you do a fuselage size of out of 1/8 inch by laminating 2 layers of this guy. You're not adding a whole lot of weight like you do it with epoxy, for example, because once you put the epoxy in there, it's going to stay there. It's going to make it heavier, and I think this is it's just very good and very solid. I mean, 10 grams. I mean, that's not much weight for a fuselage shell.
Yeah, that's what Jeff Trexler, I seen he made the 2 halves, and he built it on a keel that he made like that, and then it just went together and it glued on a really small keel across the top.
Yeah, but that's a nightmare to do it like that. Why would you do that? I mean, you have to make the frames, you have to make the keel, like you build a boat with formers and all that stuff, and then you put stick after stick after stick. That's a nightmare. I mean, that takes forever. It's nice, it looks beautiful, but it takes forever.
No, there was no sticks. It was just the top and bottom, so it had something to stick to.
You don't need that. I mean,
it wasn't butted.
If I made another shell like this, I can just glue them like this, head to head. And this will be, torsionally, is going to be stiff enough for what we need. Maybe put some, or just put maybe some formers for the motor mount, another former for a couple for the battery, where the battery goes, and maybe a landing gear if you need them. And then just put, as you glue the wing inside of it and you glue the top and the bottom, the wing is going to stiffen the sides from collapsing because you use the wing as a spacer, right? And then just put your elevator on. I mean, in Revolutions, I have no formers inside of it. There are no formers on the back side. And where the wing is, I only have like 3 pieces of sticks like that, just 1, 2, on which the wing bolts in like this. And I have one on the back side. That's all I have in a fuselage on Revolutions. And obviously I have the formers where the 2 fuselage come together because you have to have something over there, right? And I have another former in the front of the battery because I have to put the rails for the battery. But other than that, I would not need it. It's strong enough for what we need. So yeah, I think if you really want to, Steve, I mean, absolutely, you can put some formers, some like a little spacers in here, whatever you're gonna do, you know. But I think overall, this is not gonna develop like a starving horse kind of look to things, because this doesn't wanna spring back to the original shape just because you have the level like this, right?
Yeah.
So you start with the 2 equal pieces, and when you laminate it, what happens? One is here, ends up here, and one is much longer, right? But they hold each other in position. They don't want to spring back anymore.
Right.
If you have a single sheet, in time it wants to go back to level. So wherever you have the formers, you can see it nicely over there. But in between the formers, you can see that little dip forming.
Huh.
All the time. So long story short, I'm done with this right now. But I think this is perhaps one of the better ways to do molding. It doesn't add weight. It's solid. It holds its shape. It's easy to make. Because you have extra thickness, you can afford to sand a little bit more off of it to blending things, right? I just don't see any drawbacks to this. I didn't use any paper or anything in between them. So
yeah, that's a good example. It's a great demonstration, Tryon. Appreciate it. I have some comments from Sparky. Sparky is also on the chat box, by the way. There's 2 Stunt Hangars. and you can't tell who's who, but Sparky is commenting that that he uses 3/32, but have been laminating 1/16 with tight bond glue for years, and he has a full video explanation. It's an hour and a half long, and the address is typed there in the chat. And to answer your question, Montana farmer, as far as this question is, what weight is ideal for your control line planes? I would like to think lighter the better, or is there a specific weight they fly the best at? And I think the correct answer is the lighter the better. As Sparky says, most people will say a light plane doesn't matter because most people can't build a light plane. So Sparky, on the other hand, can build light planes, and I flew his Junar, and it was 58.5 ounces, and it was a big plane. So and that was one of the best planes I can remember ever flying. So ever since then, I've been a proponent of light planes, and after I finish my lumber wagon, I'm hoping to build some light planes.
You know, along with that idea, Charles, we used to think here in the mountains, we used to think that a Nobler, we'll go back to the old classic plane, a Nobler at 38 ounces was hard to beat. But then we found out that at about 40 to 42 ounces, they still flew just as good, and 40 to 42 ounces was is a good weight to look for on a Nobler with its size wing. So yeah, there's I think it was Ted Fancher when he built his first Tucker Special. He found that he had to add lead to the at the center of gravity because it was just too light, and it performed much better once he put a little ballast in there. So yeah, the answer is yes. Sometimes you have to find the best way, but for the most part, you're right. Lighter is better.
And it's easier to add ballast than take away weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A whole lot easier.
What does Bob Hunt say all the time? You probably can build an airplane too light, but nobody's figured out how to do it yet.
Yeah.
Right.
I beg your pardon?
He's talking about balsa airplanes.
Yeah, that's a good qualifier. Balsa airplanes. That's true.
Well, I better go.
Sparky says, as light as you can make it. And then Montana Farmer says, gotcha. Yeah. Now, I had an Olympic that another person built for me, and it had a Super Tiger 35 in it, but when it had an OS Max 35S, it only weighed 34 ounces, and that was another good flying plane. So I haven't flown a plane yet that's too light, but I've had a lot of planes on the heavy side. And
Gerald's got his hand up.
Yeah, Charles, you got to hold one finger up, because if you hold your hand up, we think you're waving goodbye.
Yeah, the middle finger, but not the middle finger, just the
yeah, you can't use the middle finger until we're off.
Go ahead, Gerald.
I got to wave goodbye anyway. I'm just going to say thanks for having me here, and I wish you all good season greetings. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if I don't see you before then.
And thank you.
Tell your family we said the same.
Yeah, tell Max and Otto we said hi, and your wife hi, and your sister-in-law hi. Okay. And I look forward to seeing him on the show again. That'd be great. And have Max bring some more drawings. I'm sure he still has some new drawings to show us.
Yeah, and try to get on next week when they're out of school, and then they can get on and show us some drawings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll have to try doing that next Monday night. Saturday we'll probably be too busy, or your Friday night we're normally busy. It's normally Saturday, but yeah, on your Monday night it sometimes works out well for me, so I'll give that a go. Anyway, I'll bid you all good night and catch you around.
Good night, Gerald. Hi,
Gerald. Good seeing you.
And you guys, we have 9 likes and 18 viewers right now. We've had 20 viewers, 21 at the height of today's show. So keep those likes coming. It helps build the channel, and we appreciate the super chats as well, and the memberships also help. So thank you very much. Thank you for those likes. I appreciate that.
I thought Len would come back in.
I didn't know he left.
Yeah, he froze up and left a long time ago. Hey, Gary,
Yeah.
you're getting sleepy. I seen your head looking down.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, earlier when you was asking Tryon about how do you reduce it 1/8 of an inch,
Yeah.
I watched the video from Wendy, and what he did is he would first build the mold buck, and then he would put a blade, a sharp single blade, into a piece of wood, and have it about 1/8 of an inch down, and he would just put cuts in it all through the mold buck, and then he'd sand it down so the cuts didn't show up. And that's how he would reduce the size of the buck 1/8 of an inch.
Oh, okay.
That's not the only way to do it, but that's how Wendy Yanowski did it.
I think just easier to measure it and just cut it out and be done.
Yeah, well, Samantha's airplane there. I mean, it was a mold buck made for something else, and we ended up trying to squish it in and sand it, and it was like, and there's a one place on the airplane that's real thin, and it's got to be redone. But
well, it's like trying to wearing a size 8 shoe and wearing a size 12.
Yeah,
it just ain't gonna fit.
Yeah, it was.
It'll fit, but it'll just be sloppy.
Well, it was a mold buck for the full size Junar, but once they changed, made it a little bit smaller, it wasn't made for that. Like, oh, that's okay, you can sand that right in, but then it made it way too thin, and you can feel it on the side of the airplane if you push on it. I mean, it's paper thin. You get it to come out, but I really didn't care for that. But I keep saying I'm going to strip it down and make up another mold buck for it and do another top lock and everything.
But think about it. What would you do that for? I mean, Steve, is she still flying or?
No.
Or for yourself?
It's kind of like what you're doing there.
Yeah, you're right about that. The first competition I went to, I had a plane that was, I thought that was pretty nice. And when I got over there and I saw what the other guys were flying, and I felt ashamed for what I brought with me. But, it was, I think, the second or third plane I ever built at the time.
Well, isn't that going to have a foam wing that's just monocoated?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to have all kinds of little dimple-y things in it and everything else.
You guys want to see where I'm at with the Vanguard now?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Gary.
You didn't leave that in the North Pole?
No, I carry that thing around. I got to work on it.
Holy shit! You put a picture of Tryon in that thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, lucky for
I had to put a pilot in it. The pilot started screaming in terror, screaming in "Wow, wow!" Yeah, this
bloody murder.
Say what?
It's probably screaming bloody murder. Get me out of here. Who's the maniac flying this thing?
It's all them loose electrons hitting him in the face.
That's what it is. You got it. You won't believe how many hours I've got in between this that you saw a week or two ago and what I've got now. This whole area, I don't know, that looking at the front view, I'm still not done with that. It's it's because this. Can you see my mouth?
Can I see your what?
You see the mouth?
We can see the mouth, yeah.
No, we can't see your mouth. We can't see your airplane.
Okay. Well, because this part, the mount here was changed. I had to get in there and do a lot of things, change it. I had to lengthen the nose. It's about a ½ inch longer nose. Because this is bigger around, I had a 1 3/4 spinner. I had to make that, and that wasn't a hard thing to do. I had to make that a 2-inch spinner. Increase the size of the spat in that here. I did a lot of work on the box for the battery. I've got a battery set up here, a 33 what is it? Three cell 25C 33, what are they? 33 watt, 33 mega, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3300.
Milliamps.
And yeah, and that's the size for that battery. And I'm trying to figure out how to make that so I can expand it a little wider if it needs to be.
Now, is this a 25 size airplane?
It's 25 to 40 size airplane. It's 500 and it's about an oversized airplane. So
Yeah, I'd make it for a 4-cell at least.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing too.
Go 4 cells. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to get some 4 cells. I only had the 3 cells here. That was for my Sakatumi, electric Sakatumi. Anyway,
I think a 4 cell 2200 milliamps is more than enough for your plane.
Yeah, I think I've got a 2230 or 2830 going in there.
You want a measurement on the a 2200 milliamp pack 4-cell?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Let me get a pencil here that I can write.
Yeah,
with.
I gotta go get them and stuff. I'll be right back.
All right.
Steve, I can do it now.
I need a pencil here. You know, they're all over the place. I'm tripping on them when I don't need them, and when I need them, I can never find them.
Okay, the width is
Hold on a minute.
1.315.
Okay, hold on a minute. I'm getting a pen out here. But you know, I find one that doesn't work.
I just grab a crayon.
Yeah.
Grab a crayon. Oh, I mean a crayon.
Okay, 1.38.
1 inch and 5/16. 1.3.
125.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Close enough. Yeah. You might want to give yourself a little bit extra over there.
I will.
You want a 4 cell? I think the 4 cell will end up the height is going to be 1.3. And for the 2800 milliamps pack, including the wires, 4.25. 4 inches and a quarter. That includes the wires and harness and stuff like that. So
Okay, I've got plenty of room in there then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I just have to make it a little wider.
yeah.
I think it's 1.25 inches right now,
Yeah.
wide. And
You know what I do on mine? Yeah.
What?
You know what I do on my plane, or actually on a Vector? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make some 90 degrees channels, like L-shaped channels, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna glue them on the bottom between the form or somewhere, and the battery is gonna drop inside the channels, and I have a Velcro that goes on top of it, and that's all. I'm not gonna. I don't think you should waste your time and stuff like that with all those boxes, the funny-looking things, and all those cutouts and stuff like that. I mean,
Okay.
just,
Well,
yeah, adds
I was
complexity.
kind of
for
proud of
nothing.
this little.
Yeah. So what I
I'm
would
kind
do,
of
I
proud of
just
this
keep
little
the
ventral
form or,
thing here.
was it? You have F1 is the motor mount is F2 and F3, right? F2 and F3, open them up and just leave room for the
Yep.
2 rails on the bottom, and that's it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like
Couple
that
of
idea.
L shapes on the bottom. That's
See,
all you need. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but are you
This,
just, are you
this-
gonna kit this? Are you gonna have? Is this gonna be something that Brodet does? John?
I don't know. I'll submit it to him. I might try publishing it, and that'll be after I fly it and see how it goes.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say, you know, if you got to come up with something for Brodac to do, the aluminum rails and stuff, they probably won't. They're gonna want to burn the battery box and everything, you know, form it together like they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I think this
Yeah.
adds so much complications, and you have to make all of the laser cutting and fitting and put them in there, and then the battery's gonna. How are you gonna take the battery in and out? Just take the canopy off. Looks like that. Yeah, the canopy looks like
Canopy
the
comes off. Magnetic hole right here.
Yeah, a pin, a magnet
Comes
on
out,
the back, and
keys
pin
in right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a pin; it's actually a tab right there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that also, there's a piece down there that just holds the top, makes the top hold on. So that goes down the center, and there's a long hole here for air to come out, and there's an air outlet here, and there's one under here. This ventral was for the ESC and the timer and all that to mount on there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know what? Since you do it, you make it like that. The ESC can be just with the Velcro on it. You can just put sticky back Velcro on it, put a little bit of sticky back Velcro on the bottom of a fuselage, and just stuff the ESC over there. Done. Simple. You don't need anything fancy for it. The battery, if you have the two L-shaped rails, the battery drops down. You have the Velcro that kind of wraps around on the top of it. Just tie it down. Done deal. I mean,
you ready to write, John?
Yeah, that's good.
Ready to write?
Actually, huh? I've already got it from Tran, but go ahead. Let's see if yours is the same.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. I want to.
What battery did you give him, Tryon?
Actually, I have my 6S, but I just changed the width for the 4S. That's the only thing that's going to change.
Well, the Venom, you know, all these are different sizes, but a Venom battery is only 4 inches long.
Okay.
1 inch high, and an inch and a quarter wide.
Wow.
It's a lot smaller than what the Thunder Power is.
And that's a Venom. That's a 4-cell. What's a 2800?
2200. You want a 2800?
Yeah, I gave you the 2800 for mine.
Oh, I thought you said 22 would be all he needed.
Yeah, but 28 is plenty safe, you know. You can always put a small battery and move it somewhere. That's one of the advantages of John. That's one of the advantages of the rails. You can put any size battery. If it can be longer, shorter, whatever, you can move them back and forth because the rails are like a train on tracks, right?
Yeah.
All you have to do is just put a stop on one of the rails, and you can move the battery until it gets against the stop, and just Velcro it on top, and that's it.
Hey guys, I have a couple of comments from Phil about this plane.
Yeah.
So Phil says what you may find is that the controls need less up than down. The reason is the air dams up control in the V, but does not on the down. Then they also went on to say that RC sailplanes have dealt with this problem for years.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's an interesting thing here. I was going to mention this. Back here on this, you asked me about why these balances were back here on the elevator. And I said it gives you a little more authority on the elevator. Right. But interesting enough, I was thinking about this, and I may be wrong on this. This is just an idea that popped in my head. When you're making just small corrections, you're hardly getting below the level of the stab itself. That this doesn't come into play very much. Is there here?
Yeah.
But when you go beyond that, it's almost like having an exponential control, I think, because now you get this extra area into the airflow, and
Right.
it now you got as you're giving it more control, you're getting more power in your elevator, but around neutral, when you're making those little corrections, those little it doesn't come into play very much.
It
So
could
it's
make
I
like
think
power steering.
it could make
Say
it
what?
touchy.
I say it's like power steering.
Right.
The
Yeah,
more input you
it's
give
like
it, the
having
more.
exponential control.
Yeah.
I
Basically,
say.
all it does is lighten up on, like on a real airplane, it lightened up on the control stick.
Right.
But it can make it touchy. It can make it touchy.
Well, it can if you got too much. That's for sure.
Yeah, so
That's
you
why
have
this is angled off.
well, you have to fly it, to see if you have too much or not enough.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So, but anyway, I'm going to I cut down. I had a lot of these in there because I was worried about. I had like 2 in between each one of these, one there and there. That was the idea of didn't want to start horseman with the formed. I cut it back to just this area because without all that additional because I don't think I need any more. And interesting enough, it's formed, but it's got a balsa core underneath it. This here is going to be formed from here clear back to there. It'll glue on to this piece that goes on top here to keep its shape. And there's a at this point I may or may not use it, but there's a spline that goes down here that when it clamps down, it clamps down on the top of the battery box. But anyway, so this is just painted on. This is painted onto the canopy to give it that canopy look. But the actual plastic goes clear back to here. So what else was there? I think that's about it. Any questions?
Oh, how in the hell do kids ever get any presents when it takes you so long to do everything?
Well, that's what I got the L's for. Believe me, when you try to draw as accurate as you can, and you're dealing with different shapes, believe me, when you try doing projections, just get this front end right. I mean, that took me like 6 hours today. This area back here, you see this here? It looks like I got a lot of positive, but no, that's because this flares out. These are lifted up like that. And so at the center, this is straight, 0, 0. But as it comes through the side of the fuselage, because it's flaring out, you have to raise that up to keep that going because this is also going up. Took a little while to figure that out, to get it drawn right. So yeah, it takes time to do it right. I could just pencil down on paper and then worked all the things out as I built it, but I'm trying to save myself a lot of time and trouble in the build to try to work out as much as I can here in the design stage. So that answers your question, I hope, Steve.
Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg.
I got a question. On the V stabs, how does the control horns work? Are they flexing or what?
No, these are called lucky boxes right up here. Okay, they're back here. These are lucky boxes, and it's interesting because as it lays out, it actually, if you was to look at it at the horn itself, because of this angle here, it actually has to be angled up to be in the level position because of the V. But as it goes up and down, you see how these are going straight up, straight down, that's the amount of motion that I get that I have to make allowances for in the lucky box. So if I make enough to go, since this is going the furthest to the one side, go there and go there,
Okay.
it will slide. It slides back and forth in there, and these are going to be made out of phenolic board, circuit board, which is fiberglass, kind of slick and that. So it'll just slide in. And I talked to Keith Trossel about this, and he said he had one where he had, these were at 40 degrees. Now these are only like 15 degrees, but his were 40 degrees. So that meant it was way up here. He used lucky boxes on it. He said they were smooth. They worked very well on a lucky box. So that's the way I'm going with it. I could have gone with twin horns and all of that, but I didn't want all that stuff sticking out on the side back here. This back here, go ahead.
Yeah, one word of advice I would have for you, that phenolic is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And I would not use that. Instead, there's a lot of carbon fiber plate out there. You can get it in increments up from the 0.5 millimeter, which is about 19,000 7-inch, to whatever, you know. So you can probably
That's
just
not a bad idea.
Just put the carbon fiber and 1/8 inch block of balsa in between them to make your lucky box. Shape it up and just slap that on the end of your elevator. Call it a day. That's it. And much later, and it's not going to wear out.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that the carbon fiber plate was out there. I'll have to check into that.
Oh, sure.
Because that you're right. Let's see. There was something I was good. Oh, back here to just this pin's here. It has magnets here. This lifts the whole top here. This lifts off, and I've angled it down so that because I've got an adjustable horn here, and I wanted to be able to move it up and down and get to it. So it goes down quite a ways, about as far as I can take it down. And I'll have some 64th ply here, and I'll actually do so much that I've got 16th balsa on this side and this side to keep its shape. Mm-hmm. That's all that's needed for that. I'm thinking about seeing if I get some balsa wood instead of 16th, you know, get it at I want about 3/32, which is 0.094. So 47, 047. If I get it sanded or made it 047 or 50 thousandths thick, and did 2 sheets forming that way, I'd be hitting right about 3/32, which I think is plenty for this. So anyway, that's where I'm at with it, getting closer. I was going to do F2, F3 and all that, and I realized I had work to do in here, that this needed to be all reworked because of what's going on here. So that took up my time.
John, you would benefit a lot from learning to work with some other system, a solid modeling parametric system, and because that's so much easier to work with. You can change the airfoil if you want to, and everything else is updated automatically. You can see interference feeds and all the good stuff in there. So just
you're right. You're right. It's,
because
three-dimensional. When I took my studies in CAD, AutoCAD 12 is what I studied on.
Oh, God,
and that was the last.
Antique.
That was the last DOS based. I very quickly went to R14 and learned more on R14. But I tried using the 3D that AutoCAD had, and it was clunky at that time. I'm sure it's much better now. But I've got their what do they call it? The one they got now. Anyway, I've got it loaded. It was a free download, so I picked it up. But I just haven't had time to get in there and learn it. But yeah, you're right. Going with 3-dimensional would make it easier.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
can
an old
density of your wood over there. You can calculate your CG, everything. You can import these motors from somewhere.
I can calculate the CG and all that in 2D.
Yeah, but if
as
the computer
well.
does it
But
for you automatically, why do it?
well, I do it with the computer. I get center and mass too with the computer.
No, I get it, but
With
can you
in
push a button
2D.
and get it?
Hey,
Not
Peter.
that easily. No, I have to change. Anyway, let me get this out of here.
Hey, Peter.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
You betcha.
Hey, turn your microphone on.
Oh, speaking
up,
of
Gary?
which, about the paint for this paint plane here, I'm gonna say thank you to Peter because I kind of, I really like the vector that he made a while ago with the blue, couple of shades of blue and yellow.
Yeah, that is a pretty plane.
Oh, that's gorgeous,
That
man!
was
I love the color combination on that thing.
Yeah.
So it's so horrible, I'm gonna do it.
Hey, Peter.
One question.
All right. Now I'm talking to Peter. I'll say it one more time. Hey, Peter. On your PT-19 back there,
Yeah.
did you figure out how to get the push rod to the very inside hole on that bell crank?
I actually haven't gotten that far, but it's got a really nice push rod. It's got like an arrow shaft push rod. It's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that point yet.
But you got to you have to get it into the very first hole. If you don't, that thing just has too much throw and it'll stall on you and everything else.
Like I said, I'm not quite ready to build that for myself. It's just sitting there for maybe for just a how would I say? I don't know, a future project.
Yeah. I'm gonna take mine apart and move that push rod. It shows it in the second hole, but if you do that, then you got to add about 3 ounces of nose weight to it, or it's so twitchy you can't fly it, and it'll actually stall the airplane.
Hey, he stalled the airplane. That's pretty good. That means you just put in a whole bunch of offset on the engine, fly it like a bislot.
Yeah.
Trey, and what battery is that you gave me the dimensions for?
Actually, I interpolated from my 6S 2800. So what they do with the 4S, they're gonna just chop 2 cells off, keep the rest the same.
What brand was it though?
It's Thunder Power Pro Light 25Cs.
Okay.
So with 28 should be more than enough to put a flight on that thing, because I've noticed like you kept the airfoil thin, the motor is pretty big.
Yeah.
Kind of following some guy's philosophy here, so.
It's a crazy Romanian.
Crazy Romanians, yeah. With crazy ideas.
Guys, I'm out of here.
All right,
Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate
We'll
it.
see you, bud.
Good night. So yeah, you're gonna probably yeah. So what I do, I just put 2 rails like this, right?
Yeah.
So in the second former and the third former, just you cut this angle here, right? For that, right?
Yeah.
So your former is gonna have this shape, and make sure the distance from inside to inside is just a little bit wider than your battery. So probably, if I was guessing, man, it's 1 inch and 5/16. So if you go to 1 inch and 3/8, will be perfect, right? From inside to inside.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom here, you can put a piece of Velcro that kind of goes on top, right? And you have the Velcro with the loop in which you kind of go like this, and
yeah,
pull it and lock it in, and that's all you need.
Would you consider making those L plates out of balsa, foreign balsa with some carbon fiber in the center?
I can make you some. You want some?
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
Okay. I don't have any carbon fiber. All I got's Vail. So
you can also use the stuff from Home Depot. Home Depot has aluminum rails.
Yeah.
And what you do, you just take the aluminum rails, which are kind of wide.
Oh, okay.
And just cut it shorter.
Yeah, they don't weigh that much.
No, they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll play with that.
Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you that two rails out of aluminum that are less than 1/16 of an inch thick, they're not that heavy, and aluminum glues nicely. So yeah.
My problem is Home Depot and Lowe's are about 60, 70 miles away from me. So
McMaster-Carr.
Say what?
Go to McMaster-Carr, order it, and they're gonna show up to your door in 2 days.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with a lot of stuff lately. It's just too much driving, too much gas.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth to pay $4 on shipping and get the stuff. I'm gonna look. Okay, aluminum. Okay. 9-degree angle aluminum. Look at that. You already have a 9-degree aluminum and McMaster-Carr. Wall thickness 40 thousandths more than enough. And the height in 5/8 and 1/4. Let me see. Here, do we have a drawing for it? Okay. To inside.
I just realized something. I picked up some aluminum angle, and I didn't use it. I've got it out in the shed. I can take a look at that. I think it's about the right size.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still looking at something in here. Oh, what did I do that for? Okay, cool. I found something that's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, 40,000 sticks wall thickness, but I think it's too weak. I'm gonna look for something else.
I think one at least 1/2 inch on each leg, width on each leg.
Oh, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 1/16 1/2 inch. Okay, you have 1/16 by 1/2 inch. This should be perfect for what you need.
Yeah.
Right there. And it comes with a. Oh my God! I'm not sure if you can afford that. It's $1.04 a foot.
Yeah.
Can you handle that?
I can handle it.
Oh, 8 feet. It's $4.71.
Yeah, so it'd be like $6.
Yeah, it might be kind of hard to afford this stuff. Product detail.
The
Give me a
shipping's probably
second.
exorbitant.
No, it's pretty cheap from McMaster. Okay, copy. Here you go, Jen. I'm gonna put this into the chat box. Okay.
All right.
All right. If you follow this link, you can take a look at it. It's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/16 thick. That's gonna be just strong.
Yeah, I think so.
And this is 6061 T6. It's good aluminum. It's not the bendy stuff that you get 303 from the Home Depot. This is much better stuff. So.
Okay, I'm going to put that save that so I can bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll check what I've got out in the shed. And if it's about the same stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is It's a ½ inch by ½ inch. Plus
Yeah,
the
I think
thing.
it's just about the right size. That's like almost a third of it. Well, not quite a third, but a quarter of it is supported top, side, and bottom.
Yeah, and I kind of like the rounded edges on this thing because when you put your battery inside, it's going to go over the rounded edges, so it's going to be bam done. I think this is great. I mean, heck, I'd use them.
Yeah. Now, would you put on the? You're just putting the two rails in, putting the Velcro around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you can slide the battery on these rails wherever you want to put it, right?
Yeah.
You have lots of airflow all the way around the battery, top, bottom, and everywhere. So this, have good cooling for the battery, and all the air is just going to flow through the fuselage nicely in there.
I was thinking about using some. I've got some. It's called C-Temp. It's a plastic, it's used to make patterns, but it's actually a plastic that's used in the industry. I don't know exactly what it's used for, but I was going to cut and bear in around the motor itself to keep the air flowing close and then back to where it would go into where the battery compartment is. I was going to use it to manipulate or control the flow of air as it's going through there to make sure I get maximum cooling.
Yeah, you're probably going to find out with a big motor and a small prop on it, you're going to probably find out that you don't heat it up almost at all.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about very cool. And maybe a scoop underneath the motor that diverts the air to the battery and a ESC.
I've got a scoop underneath the. I've got an annular around the propeller, and then I've got a little scoop coming down that I'm going to bring in. I was going to put the ESC and all that stuff down there to where they were getting at from there. But I was going to use some plastic to kind of round the edges because I understand you lose efficiency when you got squared edges in there in your air chambers that you're trying to flow the air through.
Force the air through the core of the motor mainly. So the motor should be bolted like it's a front mounted like you did it, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be be sealed, and all the holes that you have in there force the air that goes through into the core of the motor.
Yeah.
Right?
But
all that air goes inside the motor. And with the scoop underneath that's going to cool off the battery and the ESC, I think it's going to be more than enough. I don't think you should worry much about anything.
Yeah. I was planning on using either a 10 or 11-inch, 6 or 7-inch pitch.
Yep.
3-blade.
Yep. It's I don't know if it's a 40 size. I think 11.6 would work great. What I'm using here on mine, I'm using a. This is the motor I'm using. Okay, I'm going to be blurry again because I need some light here, okay?
All
right, so here we go. It's a 800 kV, the motor. And if this was a Cobra motor or something like that, I'm not sure what motor you're going to use. If this was a Cobra, it would be probably something like a 28 something 22. Yeah, it looks like a 22, a Cobra, but this is a 3542. This is a 3542 Joker 800 kV. So it's 35 millimeter on the outside, 42 millimeters long. That's how they keep their nomenclature. So I see this is 35, and the overall length is. I cannot measure like this, but it's about 42.
Okay. Yeah.
So they measure the physical dimensions on the outside. This guy weighs about, I don't know, 150 grams or so. It's a 800 kV. it's perfectly in they should be perfect for the 6-inch pitch prop range. And I was using an 11.6 on it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If you use a 10.6, something that's a smaller prop, even better. The motor is going to run real cool, and the battery is just like it's going to be effortless. But you have a thinner foil that works in your corner. I think everything is going to be so nicely done from that point of view. Motor run, battery consumption, stuff like that. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I hope so. I put a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
You know, the yeah. I'm anxious to start cutting parts. I've got to finish the drawings up, so I've got to generate the pattern sheets, so I can cut the parts. I could have it with the pattern sheets. I could have it laser cut, but that's going to cost me more than I want to spend right now.
Yeah.
So I've got the wood already, so I'll just use the patterns, and I'll probably do a video of it so that I can show it here, using the pattern sheet, how to do it, make parts.
I would strongly recommend that you make the ribs with some kind of fit underneath them.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get your plants, you put it on top of the table, you get your ribs, and you're gonna put them,
right.
Just put them like that, or whatever orientation. And on a piece of paper, you may want to do a plan just for that. It's where the foot of the rib is going to go in place, and with the name of the rib, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Will just look, oh, what rib is this? This is the rib number 5, okay? And you look on a piece of paper, rib 5 goes here. That's the footprint of the foot of the rib, and I'm just going to go bam, align it over there, put it 90 degrees, glue it. I don't even worry about the spars or anything else. I know this is in position.
That's a good idea. That making that sheet, that's easy to do with the CAD. Just lay it out.
And just the footprint where the footprint of your rib, because your rib is going to have like a tab to it. You just position for the tabs themselves.
Yeah,
and nothing else.
I could do the same thing for the fuselage, for a fuselage jig. Yeah, it's a good idea.
So that would be super simple. You just take your table, a little bit of 3M77, you put your plants right on top of it, looks for your ribs. Okay, rib 1, here are my tabs. The tabs footprints are over there. I match my footprints, I glue it, and you can do that the whole wing in just like 10 minutes. You're ready to put your spars.
I've got my eye out for some 1/4-inch plate glass to lay over the top of my building surface, but I don't have that yet. It doesn't matter. I haven't had that for years, but that's one of my goals, is to get glass to build over, because it's
it doesn't matter. I mean, you can glue those footprints on top of glass. It really doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever you choose.
Right. Well, it's going to be fun. There were some other planes I was going to build first, but I decided to move this right up to the head of the queue because I want to get it done. If it works well, I may publish it. I'll probably submit it to Prodac if it flies well. We'll see.
You might want to talk to the guy from the Oki Air, because he has a very similar plane to the same concept that you have. Like an elliptical wing, but it has a full flying stab. That's the only difference.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'd like to see that fly. I haven't seen it fly.
Me too. I want to fly it in Florida, but the guy wasn't feeling good, so he had to go.
I'm not a big fan of flying stabs because they've been tried so many times. The combat guys use them, but they're hinged not very far back.
Yeah, they're on the leading edge of the stab. Hinged,
right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 1/4 inch, a little bit. 10% after the leading edge.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far back from the 15%. Probably 15% is as far as you want to go. You don't want to go to the center pressure, neutral center pressure. You want to be in front of it.
Right.
And if you do that, they're pretty stable, pretty nice. It's like with good linkages, they should work fine. I was thinking about doing the full flying stab on the Revolution, and guess why? Because it was simpler.
Well, yeah, but I think we're talking about around. You really need to have a good bell crank system. With what they call it. What it's hell to get old. The slower around neutral on the bell crank.
Exponential.
Yeah.
You really need a good exponential, I think, in stunt with a flying stab, because you're going. You're just going to be. I think you're going to be too touchy without it.
Okay, I see that. Yeah. On my plane, by the way, on my plane, I'm maxed out on Expo.
Are you?
Yeah, it's maxed out. Very close to maximum.
See, and that's why I'm trying to balance elevators. Is I'm thinking that I may get. I believe I may get the Expo feeling around neutral when you're just making little corrections, but when you give it max, you're going to get a lot more out of it. It's going to. You
have to build it and fly it first and figure out from where the point.
Exactly. That's why I want to build it and get it out and fly it. I'll probably build it so that I can dismount the elevator in case I have to change anything.
Yeah, just build it, fly it, and see
well,
what
Santa,
happens.
I want one of them kits for Christmas, so you better get building quick.
It's hard to make that kit out of coal.
But use carbon fiber, then make it a completely carbon fiber, because it's the same material.
Well, actually, the F1, F2, and F3 are going to be made out of ply, like 332nd ply, but it's going to be very lightened. A lot of.
You're losing credibility there.
You think so,
John? Yeah, it's not ha ha, it's ho ho.
Well, anyway, I thought I was losing credibility by going with the ply on the F1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But the heck.
Yeah. So
hey guys, you know what? I'm going to be ending the stream pretty quickly here.
Yeah,
I want to kind of review a little bit. We had Tryon did a reveal on the molding, and which was awesome. He laminated the 2/16 sheet of balsa wood, and he wrapped it up, and then he unveiled it tonight and showed us how to trim it flush with the piece of wood that he had it mounted on, which is the same thickness. And then John Miller showed us how much he's improved in the drawings on the Vanguard. And we've had some activity on the chat box. We had a new visitor. I hope he comes back. Montana Farmer was the first time here, and welcome. Come back and register at stunthangar.com so you can come on in and we can see and hear you, and that would be great. And we actually had about 21 viewers at one point, and we have 12 likes, which is fantastic. Hopefully the replays you will like again, and we can really build up these likes. And I think that's about it. We have pretty good turnout.
That Montana Farmer and any of these other guys who are on Stunt Hangar, if they get on Stunt Hangar, they can get in on that giveaway airplane for Christmas.
Oh, fantastic. That's a great incentive to bring them in. Thank you. I think Sparky's giving away is it SV11?
Yeah.
So Sparky's giving away an SV11. I think it's ARF or ARF.
ARF or ARC, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Montana Farmer, yeah, check out stunthangar.com, register, and then you can enter your hat into the giveaway. And it's going to be done by a random generator, so you have just as much chance as anybody else to win that.
Do they make an unrandom generator?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not even going to go there, Steve. Oh, no.
But anyways, hey, we've had a really good show. Why don't you go out and have some fun, do something, and come back Friday night and talk about what you did and share it with us. That'd be much appreciated. Let me go ahead and close the stream. And we will see you again Friday night. So same bat channel.